Nearly 3,000 Americans were murdered on September 11, 2001. And then the United States declared a war on terror, invaded Afghanistan, and then Iraq, and took out Saddam Hussein. Flash forward to 2014, and Al-Qaeda, the very people who murdered all those Americans, are now controlling major cities in Iraq. Colonel Oliver North joins us. Nice to see you.
Greta, good to be with you.
Boy, I don't even know what the words are, and to have those two flags, black flags.
General Ray Ordiarno, with whom I was embedded on two of those 20-plus embeds over in Iraq, he was the commanding general of the 4th Infantry Division. And his observation that's carried in the paper and the press today is indicative of what the top level sees it. And I'm not picking a fight with him, but in fact, this is a devastating blow to those who fought in this war. It's a devastating blow to the family members. As you know, because I've been on your show talking about my American Heroes book series every time we've had a book come out, many of those books have the photographs that were taken with soldiers, sailors, airmen, guardsmen, and Marines while I was with them. And then they were subsequently killed. There's a shot of Sergeant Joshua Frazier, with whom I spent many, many days in Ramadi, Iraq.
I think we have his picture.
One of the two places. This gunfight you're seeing right there.
This picture.
That's Joshua Frazier. Brave, brave sergeant. I came home, and 3 weeks later he was killed, and his folks asked me to come to that funeral. Every book signing I go to, someone will walk up to me, a family member, and say, "Would you sign this photograph of my son or my husband or my dad who was with you in Iraq, or in some cases Afghanistan?" And I'll say, "Well, how's he doing?" And he said, "No, he was killed a few weeks after you left them." I look at those kinds of events as a personal tragedy for those who lost them. But up until now, when they would ask the question, was that sacrifice worth it? I could answer yes. The victory that we sought in Iraq was doable. A stable country, a friendly government, respect for its own people, and a place where terrorists could not reign again. That's not what we're seeing happen there. What we did with this administration was to walk away from the fight that, as you accurately pointed out, claimed so much blood and treasure. And we've left a country, a satrap of a neighbor, Iran, and vulnerability for the United States, again, that shouldn't be there.
So you're saying as it has turned out, it has not been worth it?
But not because of the bravery in the battlefield.
No, I understand that.
This is very much like a war I was in a long time ago.
I understand that.
And it's because of the failures of this administration to close the BSA, the bilateral security agreement that had already been negotiated. And in 2011, they walked away from it. And on your show and several others on Fox, I said, this is going to be a disaster. Not because I have the gift of prophecy, but you could see where it was headed at that point.
All right, it didn't happen. Now we're in this situation where we have two Al-Qaeda flags flying over Ramadi and Fallujah, where we've lost 100 soldiers, I think, just at Fallujah alone in 2004. What would you do now? I mean, what is there to do? What do we say to the families? Two things. What do we say to the families now, and what can we do?
Well, the sacrifice they made for each other is certainly still there and worth it. The fact that you have an administration that refused to ever use the word victory or win, or failed to define it, or failed to step up and do what needed to be done is a disaster for those families. But it's been deadly for the people of Iraq. Because the people of Iraq, now 8,000 civilians have been killed. More than all of the time that we were in there have died as a consequence of what we've allowed to happen.
Just even today, 26 in Iraq, 86 people in Fallujah this month. That's just this month. But anyway, Colonel, always nice to see you, sir.
Good to be with you, Greta.